So we always say in the Black Panther Party that they can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary. And you're going to have to keep on saying that. You're going to have to say that I am a proletarian. I am the people. I'm not the pig. You've got to make a distinction. And the people are going to have to attack the pigs. The people are going to have to stand up against the pigs. That's what the Panthers are doing. That's what the Panthers are doing all over the world.
What's up, you guys? So today I'm out here in Chicago, and I'm going to be covering the story of Black Panther chairman Fred Hampton, who was assassinated by the FBI and Chicago PD. Before joining the Black Panthers, Fred Hampton was involved in various community organizations and activism efforts, particularly focusing on civil rights and social justice issues. He was a member of the NAACP as a teenager and also worked with the Youth Council Organization for Black American Culture. Additionally, Hampton participated in voter registration drives and community education programs aimed at empowering and uplifting African American communities in Chicago. His involvement in these activities reflected his strong commitment to addressing racial inequality and advocating for the rights of marginalized communities. Hampton's work as a community organizer and activist laid the foundation for his later involvement with the Black Panther Party, and he was able to continue to display social and economic justice for African Americans and other oppressed groups. So the Black Panthers were started in Oakland in 1966 by Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale. The Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, commonly known as the Black Panthers, were started in response to the widespread racial discrimination and police brutality faced by African Americans in the 1960s. The Black Panthers also engaged in community organizing and social programs to address the needs of the African American community. They created free breakfast programs for children, provided health clinics, and organized educational incentives, showing their commitment to uplifting their community. The organization's self-defense stance, symbolized by their armed patrols, was both a response to police violence and a means of asserting their rights and challenging the status quo. The Panthers famously monitored police behavior and conducted armed patrols to prevent police abuse in African American neighborhoods. This was also known as pig watching. In response to sabotage the Black Panthers, the government came up with the Mulford Act, which was created in 1967. And it was a bill that was signed that prevented citizens from carrying loaded firearms in public places without permits. This bill was created with the goal of specifically disarming members of the Black Panther Party, and this was just one of the many things that the government and law enforcement did to prevent any progress in the Black community. J. Edgar Hoover, who was the director of the FBI at the time, is famously known for saying, "The Black Panther Party, without question, represents the greatest threat to the internal security of our country." Now, I don't use the word hate too often. There's not too many people that I feel like I hate. But if there's one guy that I really can't stand, it is J. Edgar Hoover. COINTELPRO, which is short for Counterintelligence Program, was an illegal operation conducted by the FBI aimed at surveilling, infiltrating, discrediting, and disrupting political organizations. The Black Panther Party expanded across the United States through a combination of grassroots organizing, activism, and a shared vision of addressing racial injustice and equality. Fred Hampton was voted chairman of the Chicago Black Panther Party due to his exceptional leadership qualities, dedication to the cause, and his ability to inspire and unite people. His charisma, intelligence, and commitment to the principles of the Black Panther Party made him a natural choice for leadership within the organization.
There has to be an educational program. That's very important. As a matter of fact, we are so important for us that a person has to go through 6 weeks of our political education before he can consider himself a member of the party, able to even run down ideology for the party. Why? Because if they don't have an education, then they're nowhere. You know what I'm saying? They're nowhere because they don't even know why they're doing what they're doing.
Fred Hampton made it a goal for Black Panther Party members not to be only radical, but politically educated as well, which was a serious threat to the government and law enforcement during that time.
Let me give you an example. Jomo Kenyatta formed the excellent revolution with no education. And on the day of the end thing, Jomo told the motherfucker, said, well, you can educate, hate the enemy, but I'm your brother, I'll help you lead the revolution, now I'm more pressure.
And at just 21 years old, Fred Hampton became one of the most feared revolutionaries in the entire country. Not long after becoming chairman of the Chicago chapter, Fred Hampton created the Rainbow Coalition, which was a multicultural political organization sought to unify marginalized groups, including African Americans, Latinos, poor whites, and Native Americans. By joining forces, the coalition aimed to establish a powerful and unified front against oppression and discrimination.
I'm the first move that they'll make. I'm a part of the organization. It'll be the first organization they'll move on because I happen to be a part of the organization, the Black Panther Party. That is the only organization, in fact, that has came out and stood up loud and clear and said that we don't care what anybody says, whether they have guns or not, and badges or 18 uniforms. If whenever they step outside the bounds of legality into the bounds of illegality, then we'll blow their brains out if they're bothering the people. And what makes them mad about that? They're constantly bothering the people. Anybody that's out there for the protection of the people happens to be in direct conflict with them. What makes them mad about it? What makes them mad about it is that they have black people and white poor people and red poor people and Puerto Rican poor people and Latin American Puerto Rican people of poor people of all descents. They have caught up in movements based on racism when the Black Panther Party stood up and said that we don't care what anybody says. We don't think you fight fire with fire best, we think you fight fire with water best. We're gonna fight racism, not with racism, but we're gonna fight with solidarity. We said we're not gonna fight capitalism with black capitalism, but we're going to fight it with socialism. We stood up and said we're not going to fight reactionary pigs and reactionary state's attorneys like this and reactionary state's attorneys like Hanrahan with any other reactions on our part. We're going to fight their reactions where all of us people are getting together and have an international proletarian revolution. Right on. Right on.
Edward Hanrahan, the Cook County State's attorney at the time, conducted several illegal raids on the Black Panther Party members' homes and headquarters, unlawfully to search for illegal weapons and apprehend individuals suspected of criminal activities.
The state's attorney and the state's attorney's office has reasons to see Fred Hampton in jail. We've got a new state's attorney, you see. He said already what he thought about people that had different political beliefs than he had. His speeches sound somewhat like those of Hitler, and we know why he wants to see Fred Hampton put in jail.
So members of the Panther Party were preparing for a raid at any moment, and security detail was assigned every day. But on the early morning of December 4th, 1969, Mark Clark was assigned security duty at Chairman Fred Hampton's apartment. At approximately 4:45 a.m., a 14-man team of law enforcement officers stormed Chairman Fred Hampton's apartment, killing Mark Clark instantly. Officers then made their way through the rest of the residence, where they found Chairman Fred Hampton in a back bedroom with his pregnant girlfriend, laying in bed, not able to move because he was drugged by an FBI informant named William O'Neill, who infiltrated the Black Panthers. Hampton was then executed in a coordinated attack by the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, the FBI, and Chicago police.
This is 2337 West Monroe, described by police as a depot for Black Panther Party arms and ammunition. 14 State's Attorney's policemen, led by Sergeant Daniel Groth, found out indeed it was a depot for weapons. After a 15-minute gun battle that cost Illinois Black Panther Party Chairman Fred Hampton his life, Sergeant Groth described the raid as 15 minutes of hell and a miracle. A miracle because not one policeman was killed, a miracle because not more policemen were shot. The firing stopped only when the occupants realized their arsenal was no match for the police arsenal an arsenal that included a .45 caliber submachine gun and 2 shotguns.
The immediate, violent, criminal reaction of the occupants in shooting at announced police officers emphasizes the extreme viciousness of the Black Panther Party. So does their refusal to cease firing at the police officers when urged to do so several times.
According to police, they claim that as soon as they entered Hampton's residence, a woman in the living room with a shotgun immediately fired at them, causing them to return fire upon entering the residence. But after further investigations, there was no evidence that showed that the Panthers fired any shots during the raid.
Look force is this door here open. Simultaneously with that, we enter, a shot rings out, Goose falls off in this direction. I enter in a semi-erect position. There's a woman lying on the bed with a shotgun, calmly pumping it, pointed in my direction, and fires. The fire illuminates her face. I get a very good look at her. I feel something go over my left shoulder. I then step back here. I look in, get up on my toes, point my revolver, look in again, cover my face, and fire several shots at the girl.
The night before the raid, FBI informant William O'Neill allegedly placed a sedative in a drink that was given to Hampton, which is why he was incapacitated the morning of the raid. Hampton's pregnant girlfriend, Deborah Johnson, stated that officers entered the back bedroom and immediately started firing, and Hampton never even got out of bed.
Looked like all the pigs converged at the entranceway to the bedroom area, back bedroom area. The mattress is just going, you could feel the bullets going into it. I just knew we'd be dead, everybody in there. When he looked up, just looked up, he didn't say a word, and he didn't move. Heard the pig say, he's barely alive, he'll barely make it. I assumed they were talking about Chairman Fred. So then, they started shooting, the pigs, they started shooting again. I heard the sister scream. They stopped shooting. Pig said, he's good and dead now.
Sir, you say your men were fired upon. Witnesses who have seen the apartment say there is no evidence of bullets from the direction where the Panthers supposedly were to be.
I said that after our officers announced their purpose and their station several times, they were fired upon from within the room.
Touch nothing, don't move nothing, cause we want to keep everything just the way it is. Don't touch no walls.
And here it is today, 2337 West Monroe Street. This is going to be Fred Hampton's apartment, where he was executed December 4th, 1969. This is what it looks like today, 2023. And to think Fred Hampton was only 21 at the time of his murder, and all the things he was able to accomplish during the time he was alive, it's just sad the way he had to go out. But make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.
Because we said even before this happened, and we're going to say it after this, and after I'm locked up, and after everybody's locked up, that you can jail revolutionaries, but you can't jail a revolution. Right. You might run a liberator like Harris Cleave out the country, but you can't run liberation out the country. You might answers that don't answer, explanations that don't explain. You come up with conclusions that don't conclude.